Hi YouTube! Today we are going to have a look at the top 5 most popular cards of Festival of Legends. Now, how do I decide what the top 5 most popular cards are? Well, I'm gonna base it on what you commented on my tweet. So, yesterday evening I made a giveaway tweet on Twitter asking people to not only sub to my YouTube channel here, but also leave a comment telling me what their favorite card of the new expansion is. And like within a few hours, I had over 500 responses. I went through all of them and I collected the data and I made the top 5 of the most popular cards based on your opinion here. So let's just have a quick look at what the top 5 is. So on number 5, we have Infinitize the Maxitude. This one was like quite popular already. I saw not as popular as the ones we're gonna discuss later, but this is number 5 in the top 5. Infinitize the Maxitude, 2-mana legendary spell. Discover a spell, finale, return this to your hand at the end of turn. So at every end of your turn, if you have 2 mana to spend, you can play this, discover a spell for the next turn, for example. And if you do that with 2 mana, like at the end of your turn, you'll get this spell back into your hand. So you can keep going like infinite if you keep doing this with 2 mana left. And this seems to be quite popular. I mean, I really like discovering stuff, so I get it. And I think this is like quite high on my list as well. And I will definitely give this a try in the theory crafting stream that will happen tomorrow. So yeah, this was number 5, Infinitize the Maxitude. Then the next one on number 4, we have another Manastorm. The DJ this time, DJ Manastorm, 10 mana, 8/8, battle cry, set the cost of spells in your hand to 0. After you cast one, the others cost 1 more. So this is quite expensive, right? It's a 10 mana minion. But you can go like for big spells. Set them to 0, play 1, and then your next big spell will not cost 0, but it will cost 1. And then it goes up every time. But that means you get to cheat out big spells for 0 mana, for 1 mana, for 2 mana. I think that's really cool. Plus also the artwork on this one is so cool. Like the DJ Manastorm, like it's a vibe. And I get that this is in the top 5 as well. So this was number 4. Number 3, Big Monkey, Mr. Mukla, a 6 mana 10/10 beast, rush, battle cry, fill your opponent's hand with bananas. So your opponent is gonna get like a hand stuck full of bananas. It means they will lose their top deck because their hand's full. So they will also lose a card. Plus, like the bananas might be useless for them if they don't have anything else in their hand or not many things in their hand. And you have a very big 6 mana 10/10 on the board with rush. So it can also trade something. I think this is a really cool card. Also, the artwork is amazing. I love the big monkey with his bananas. Yes, good choice for the number 3. Then, number 2. This one was very popular, but not as popular as the other, like the number 1. There was a very big difference still between votes, but this one was a clear number 2. Jive Insect, 5 mana legendary spell. Transform a minion into Ragnaros the Fire Lord. Overload 2. I don't know if you remember the original Ragnaros. It's an 8/8. Can't attack, but at the end of your turn, deal 8 damage to a random enemy. Now that's really cool. Like this is like one of the most popular minions in Hearthstone, I think. And I really love it as well. So to be able to get one on your board for 5 mana is just really insane. And also, it's transform a minion. It's not your own minion, so it can also be enemy minion. So for example, if you need to hit face for lethal, but there is a taunt, maybe you can transform an enemy minion and just hit face and kill him, right? But overall, I really love the design of this card. I love Ragnaros. So good choice, guys, for the number 2. Then the most popular card, maybe you've guessed it already. I'm gonna show you now. This one was the most popular. It had like, I think more than half of the votes out of all the 600 entries. Symphony of Sins, 6 mana legendary warlock card. Discover and play a movement. Shuffle the other 6 into your deck. Now this is a very interesting, right? Because this is one spell, but you get 6 more really shuffled into the deck. And the movements look really cool as well. So there's Movement of Envy. Remove the top 6 cards from your opponent's deck. So that's like a bit of a disruption tool, really. Like if they play combo, they might lose combo cards. It's just fun doing that. That's my opinion though. Movement of Pride. Draw your highest cost minion, reduce its cost by 6. So if you have very expensive minions, reduce the cost by 6. This only costs 3 mana, so you might be able to play it on the same turn and cheat out some big stats on the board. Then the Movement of Wrath. Deal 6 damage to all characters, so that's a good AoE, but it also goes face. So it's also a good way to finish off your opponent if you're like a few damage short, but make sure you're not on 6 because you will die as well. Movement of Desire. Draw 6 cards. Oh, sorry. It's Desire is Lifesteal. Deals 6 damage to the enemy hero. Now, you deal 6 and you heal 6. So your opponent loses health, you gain it. Good way if you need to like heal back a little bit, or just for lethal, obviously. Just a lethal push. Then, Movement of Gluttony. Give a random minion in your hand, deck, and battlefield +6/+6. Now this is just making big boys, right? Lots of stats. Really cool as well. Like you can go for like buff something in your hand, like big minions in your hand. You buff them +6/+6. You put it out on the board. Plus the minion on your board gets buffed as well, so you get insta push 6 additional damage to the face or to take a trade, but preferably to go face. Okay, so then the Greed. We just saw it already. It's draw 6 cards. That's just a good way to refill your hand, right? 3 mana, draw 6. That's just really good. Movement of Sloth. Summon a 6/6 demon with Taunt and Reborn. That's just a very sticky board, right? It's maybe good in aggro matchups where you need to protect yourself a little bit. You get a big taunt, it gets reborn, so it will resummon the taunt with 1 health, so they need an additional minion or spell to get through it. And so when you play the Symphony of Sins, you pick one of these movements that will insta get played, and the other 6 get shuffled into your deck, so you will draw them like random times during the game. So you don't pick one and just the other ones aren't there. You get to play all of them if you need to, but you probably won't have to play all of them because the game will be done. But this is a very cool card, very interesting design, and yeah, this was a clear winner. So I think this is well deserved the number 1 in this top 5. So before we go, guys, I would just like to know if you agree with this top 5, or would you like to see any other cards in there? What's your number 1 also? Very curious to find out about that. And thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye!